Welcome to the Cowbell Kingdom post-game show live here on the floor of Sleep Train Arena, where the Sacramento Kings fall to the Detroit Pistons by a final of 95-90. Kings drop to 11-13 on the season. They fall to a very suspect Detroit Pistons team that is now 5-19 on the season. This is 3 games in a row for the Kings. Not a good night at all. They fall apart in the third quarter, get outscored 24-14, shoot just 17.9%. During the third quarter, an absolute disaster. They could not recover in the fourth quarter. Not a good game tonight for Sacramento. Rudy Gay has a disastrous night. He scores 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, which looks nice on paper, but he shoots 6 of 22 from the field. After the game, Rudy Gay let us in on something that's going on behind the scenes with the Sacramento Kings. Ryan Hollins, center for the Sacramento Kings, lost his father earlier in the day, and this team was playing with a very, very heavy heart. Let's go to the tape of Rudy Gay speaking on Ryan Hollins.
It's tough. This team through some things today. With Ryan, even before I get into the game, the sacrifice he made today to play and part of this team today. One of the tough things to see is out of the in his life. It says a lot about his future of this team.
Collins starts the game for Sacramento, finishes with 6 points and 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. He was energetic. He gave it his all. But this is a very big Detroit Pistons front line, very difficult to guard. Jason Thompson felt that tonight. He played only 19 minutes. He had a productive night as far as points and rebounds, but 19 minutes due to foul trouble. It's a very dangerous Detroit Pistons front line. Big guys, Greg Monroe, Andre Drummond, Josh Smith. They tore up the Kings tonight. Jason Thompson couldn't stay in the game. He ends up with 5 fouls, plays only 19 minutes. A very, very bad game for Jason Thompson as far as staying on the court when DeMarcus Cousins is out of the game. Darren Collison, 1 of 10 from the field. He finishes 0 of 3 in the fourth quarter on 3-pointers. He had every opportunity to get this team back in it and couldn't find a basket. The one thing I'll say about Darren Collison, he always stands in and takes the questions regardless of how poorly he plays. No difference tonight. Let's cut to Darren Collison talking about tonight's loss.
I always say the third quarter is the most important quarter. And if you look at our last 5 to 6 games, our third quarter has a lot to do with, the way we're finishing out games. Whether we're up by 10, we're losing leads, whatever the case may be, our third quarter is not where it needs to be. And I think that's something that, we got to continue to clean up.
One of the lone bright spots for the Sacramento Kings tonight was Carl Landry. Comes in, he really struggled over his last 4 contests, but tonight, 15 points, 11 rebounds, his second double-double of the season, and he plays 24 minutes, but just not enough. There wasn't enough Carl Landry. There wasn't enough guys shooting the ball well. The Kings shoot just 35.5% from the field. Again, they turned the ball over 17 times. Let's go to our 3 keys to the game. Number 1, the not-so-hot shots. The Detroit Pistons come in shooting just 40.7% from the field. Tonight, 44.3%. Kings did not play great defense. They gave up a lot of fast break points. Josh Smith, in his audition game for the Sacramento Kings, finishes with 21 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks. He does turn the ball over 7 times, but a very athletic forward who's all over the court, someone that the Kings have sought after all offseason. Greg Monroe, a guy who's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, he is auditioning for every team tonight. 24 points, 8 rebounds. Point number 2, clean the glass. Sacramento Kings actually dominated the Detroit Pistons on the glass tonight, 55-43, including 22-8 on the offensive glass. But that's what happens when you shoot 35% from the field. Somebody's got to get some rebounds because there's a whole lot of them to have. Point number 3, playing down to the competition. This is something that we have seen countless times, even this week. The Kings have lost 3 in a row. 2 of those 3 are to horrendous teams, Detroit Pistons and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Kings, even without DeMarcus Cousins, are good enough to beat these teams, but maybe they're not. They are not playing good basketball right now. One thing I thought was very interesting is that Michael Malone was very upbeat in the postgame. He was very proud of his team. The one thing he pointed out is while they shot only 35% from the field, they had a lot of good looks, and that's something that he thought was an improvement over what we've seen in the past. Sometimes you miss shots, and that is the line that Malone was going with tonight.
To be very honest, I wasn't overly disappointed with the offense tonight. I thought there was a lot of improvement with their execution, with our ball movement. I thought in the third quarter we got a little stagnant at times, tried to do a little bit too much because we were struggling. But overall, Sean, I wasn't overly disappointed with the offense tonight. I judge it on not if you make the shot, if we're getting good looks. And I thought we got a lot of good looks tonight that just didn't go down for us.
Let's go to our MVP of the game. You know, the MVP of the game has to be Josh Smith. Huge night, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 blocks. He does turn the ball over 7 times, but he was a driving force behind the Pistons tonight. Again, Greg Monroe finishes with a strong 24 points and 8 rebounds for the Pistons. Both of those guys have strong nights. If you're looking at an MVP for the Sacramento Kings, it's got to be Carl Landry. Again, 15 and 11, his second double-double of the season. A very good performance out of Landry with all of these guys missing. The one thing I'll point out is in the locker room, we asked Coach Malone, we asked Darren Collison about waiting for DeMarcus Cousins, because at this point it kind of feels like this team knows that DeMarcus is coming back soon. They don't know how soon, but it seems like they're just kind of waiting around and hoping that he comes and saves the day. That is not what either Collison or Malone thought is happening, but it sure does look that way. Let's go to those guys.
I mean, obviously he'll be a welcome sight, but I don't get the sense that anybody's feeling sorry for himself. I don't get the sense that anybody's saying, woe is me, when's DeMarcus coming? I think these guys all have pride, and I think they all want to try to show that we can win without DeMarcus. And we're struggling to do that, to be very honest. But I don't get the sense that anybody is saying, waiting for DeMarcus. I thought our guys competed tonight, not happy with the loss by any means, but I thought we competed and fought all the way to the end. And if we could just find a way to make shots more consistently, obviously we'll be able to win some more games.
I just think we're just not playing the right basketball right now. Regardless if he comes back or not, we're not playing the right basketball. DeMarcus does a lot of things good for us, but he also bails us out because he's so talented. You know what I mean? And you never want to just rely on just one guy just trying to bail you out. You want to continue to play the right way, and I don't think we're playing the right way defensively first. So when he comes back, he's going to bail us out, you know what I mean? But at the same time, we still got to be able to play good basketball.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. Again, the Sacramento Kings lose to the Detroit Pistons 95-90. They dropped 2 games under 500, 11 and 13 on the season. We'll be back on Tuesday night when the Sacramento Kings take on Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. It is Peja Stojakovic jersey retirement night. It should be a fun night for everyone. Maybe Omri Caspi will be back. He's struggling with a knee injury. Maybe he won't. Maybe DeMarcus Cousins can come off the bench and play a few minutes. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. Maybe later in the week for DeMarcus. So, I am James Ham. Thanks for tuning in to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show.